Hello. It's that time of the month again for me to sit down, make a video, talk about how my month went, and edit it, post it, put it online. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm just sitting in my room right now because um, today I'm just not feeling like moving around and doing stuff. Today is one of my first days in a while being home alone. So I've just been sitting around not really doing much. But this morning I got a email from Etsy and I sold my first t-shirt online to an actual customer. And if you don't believe me, here's a receipt from the UPS that I sent it out from. Proof. I got receipts, girl. Um, well, to get to the video part, I'm gonna look at my phone because in my notes on my phone app, I write down kind of a general idea of what happens within the month so that I don't have to think about all this stuff. I am so bad at remembering that this is just so much easier. Like, I don't even remember what happened in the month, but now I can read it off to you. Working at the zoo. So, the beginning of March, I started working at the zoo and the little local zoo, and it is just so cool. Um, the zoo is like a big loop where you walk around this path in a circle, and like right halfway through the circle, you can ride a boat that rides around a lake, circling these islands, no fences, islands that got monkeys on them. Monkey boat, the little lake, Lake Victoria. They named it after the one in Africa. Um, the monkeys uh, are afraid of the water because it's a natural barrier for them, so they don't even really try to get off the island. So they don't have any enclosures. There's no net above them. There's no fence around them. It's just a natural setting where there's just monkeys there, and you float around them. Um, oh geez. I was picking up some transfer paper from Office Max to do some t-shirts for my dad. He has this little biker group that him and his friends are in, and it's a play on the wild hogs, but it's the wild seagulls because they're in Florida. Well, he had me make him a design for it, and I needed to go get some paper. While I'm getting the paper, I go through a drive-through to get something to eat, and my car stops. Like the engine just stops working while I'm sitting there at the drive-through window. I'm so close to the window, I can't even get out of my drive and push the car. One of the employees had to come out there and push me into the parking lot. I had to call a friend who had to jumpstart me so I could drive like 150 feet to the stoplight. And as I'm idling there, it stalls again. The engine just dies. And it's like, ugh. So we had to sit there and wait for about 2.5 hours for a tow truck to come. Of course, my phone's dead. All I had to read was some stupid book in my car that I don't even remember who gave it to me. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Lord. Um, this says my car broke down on the 16th, but that was before the first story I just told about the shirts and stuff. That was before the 16th. And it says my car broke down again on the 16th. What was it? I didn't write very many details. I took it to go fix it. My car, I took it to go get fixed, and I got my grandma's car to drive around in. I go and pick up my car from the shop, and I drive it to my grandma's to drop her off. And as I'm about to leave the neighborhood, it stops again. I managed to make it back to the garage, and they have to look at something else in it. And so I had to go back and get my grandma's car and wait more. This car is nearly worth nothing, and my family has put so much money into just making it work that it's just like a money hole, a black hole for all your dollar bills. Speaking of dollar bills, I got a tax return like an adult. Ooh. And it was substantial. Just putting it out there. But to me, I'm all like, whoa. And my parents are like, that ain't nothing. Um, my stepmom, who is some kind of head accountant for something, some CFO, head, chief financial officer. She helped me do the taxes, which was pretty easy. I went over to the hotel they were staying at. We had pizza and sat down and did all this, and it was kind of nice. It was like a little family get together with taxes. The governor of Florida, Rick Scott, actually came to the zoo that I work at. He came there and he gave this like press conference about Florida tourism and stuff, and it was crazy. I didn't agree with some of the stuff he was saying, but I was just sitting behind him and I couldn't stop smiling because there were like 6 news cameras and everyone pulling out their cell phones taking pictures. And I was just standing behind him, so they were taking pictures of me too, and I just couldn't stop smiling because, ooh, look at all these cameras. And on the same day, after he had packed up and everyone was gone, everything calmed down. Later into the day, whenever the zoo was about to close, we had this woman come up to the gift shop. I happened to be there. I don't normally be there. She came up and she was really concerned because she was an elderly care giver, and she had brought these old people to the zoo because they've been wanting to go to the zoo for months, and they finally felt well enough to get out of the house and stuff. So she brought them to the zoo, and then they couldn't get back to their car. They couldn't walk anymore. So I took a wheelchair out and I went there and loaded the eldest woman into the wheelchair, and her younger friend, she just kind of walked behind us slowly, stopped, sat down on the bench, take a break a little while. Well, I just pushed the woman through. But she wasn't able to talk. And it was actually pretty cool. She had this big old lady purse, and she pulled out an iPad, like a full-sized iPad. And I'd be talking to her and she'd type in there, and then she'd have a little speaker button and it would say the words for her. And for a couple seconds it was kind of awkward because I'm like, ooh, she doesn't talk. Well, I just started giving her like a tour of the zoo, and as I was walking her up to the emergency exit so that she could get to her car. But as we were walking past everything, I was just telling her about stuff like, oh yeah, over here at the alligators, we have these birds that during the spring nest above the alligator, the lake exhibit. because the alligators actually protect them during nesting seasons. Even though the alligators might eat some of the birds are more concerned about raccoons and other animals coming in, raiding their nests, and eating all of the eggs throughout the entire bird colony all at once. So they nest above the alligators because raccoons won't enter the alligator filled waters. And she's sitting there in her little iPad, and she pushes the speaker button, and she's like, "Those are clever birds." And it was just cute, this little old lady. And I finally wheeled her up to the pavilion. I opened the gates to take her out of the emergency exit so they could get to their car without going through the crowds and everything, because I just wanted them to get home and get safe and cool off. And it was pretty cool. um, we had the monthly leather and lace night at the Rascals up in Fort Myers, which is a town above us. And oh my god, it was great. I had this leather harness on that I made, uh, chained it together, and then had a chain going all the way down. And I had on these like suspender kind of, oh, what's it called? A singlet underwear. And as my friends were outside on the patio talking, I was inside watching the drag show. Well, after the drag show was over, they decided to have a leather and lace contest. And so everyone who was dressed up got on stage. Well, everyone who dressed up was in leather. There wasn't anyone there in lace. So it was more like a leather contest. Well, we get up there and everyone starts strutting and everything. And as I walk up to do my strut, I just let my basketball shorts drop, and then I walk out of them and I'm just in the singlet with the leather harness on, and I'm striking poses and stuff, and I'm just living for it. Oh my god, that was so fun. Uh and everyone, some people were like cheering for me, and they were gauging it by how loud the cheers were, and I was like, that's not it. And then I'm like, I'm yelling out to the audience, is that it? And I start stomping my feet on the stage and moving around more, and then they start cheering even more. And I got a $10 gift, and I won a $10 gift certificate to the bar. Ooh. Ugh, so many stories. All of this happened in March. Wow. No wonder I can't remember anything. Everything goes by so fast. All of this stuff happens all so quickly. So this month I officially talked to my roommate about the idea of me moving out soon, because I mean, this isn't my room. I don't pay for it. I don't pay rent. I just live with some friends and help out with bills and stuff, but not through traditional rent. Whatever. Uh, jeez. This has been a really awkward thing for me to deal with because I really care about my roommates, and moving on and moving out is just really complicated and hard. And I've never actually had to do this. I've never actively moved out of someone's house. Well, I guess I have. I moved out of my last ex's place. But moving out of my parents' house, I didn't have to worry about that. I was just kicked out. I didn't have to worry about all the stress of moving on my own. And now I just gotta go through the motions and get through it. Um, my dad and my stepmom said that they're okay with me storing the most of my stuff at their house whenever it becomes open in May. And after that, I'm probably going to quit my job at Lowe's, and the job I have at the zoo will most likely be over. It's just seasonal and temporary. And in this area, most of the tourism business dies down after Easter. So I have about a month or two left until they're probably not going to need me anymore. And after that, I'm going to make plans to move. And I avoid talking about it on here because I guess I just don't want it to happen. I don't want to have to deal with it. I know it's necessary. It does have to happen. I've just been avoiding it, which is dumb because I'm a big dummy. Dummy. Ugh. Ooh, something more lighthearted. Toys R Us has gone bankrupt. um, Toys R Us did a Blockbusters. They all gone under. They selling shit. They getting out of it, getting out of the business. And when I heard about it, I went to the Toys R Us here and got a whole bunch of toys on sale, including this cutie, my little strawberry unicorn. So cute. This is actually really cool. It's an Italian designer who makes stuff based on Japanese anime cartoonist caricature kind of stuff. That's so cute. I got a bunch of those little mystery boxes that me and my roommates opened. Let's see what's on the next bulletin. My dad's birthday was on the 30th, which was also my grandparents' wedding anniversary. My dad was actually born on my grandmother's first wedding anniversary, which I think is pretty strange. That's crazy. Um, she pulled out some fine china that her mother gave her on her first wedding anniversary, and of course, on their first wedding anniversary, she was stuck in a hospital in labor, so she couldn't eat anything. All they had was those hospital trays, but she's got some fine china that she pulled out last weekend. It was pretty cool. Wow, this video is actually really long now. So I'm going to go ahead and end it because it's literally the last day of the month after the 31st was over. And y'all can all look forward to April. And I'll kick that off with the Easter April Fool's my grandfather's birthday combo in the next monthly video. So talk to y'all then.